Ladies and gentlemen, speaker number 6, Kennedy Ong. Kennedy Ong, speaker number 6.
Ah, it's a snake! That is the most memorable line I've seen since the start of the 1905 when you were in Dover, New Hampshire. Barbara, that was an excellent, you have excellent scene, detail, setting skills. You were able to transport us to the early 1900s when you had those, you were horseback riding and you told us how you wanted to be your father's sister. Excellent scene settings there. You took care of the animals, you described your aunt, and then you went on to the part where you said, I was bored. Nothing's happening here. I do have some suggestions for you. You have that very good vocal variety where you were just animated when you describe nothing's going to happen here. And then there were also the parts where you were saying, can you imagine? But I felt like you were using it as a sentence, because can you imagine? You didn't pause there and you just kept on going. I didn't imagine because I didn't have enough time. So you want to try to do those can you imagine as a real question and let us think about it. You're there, you don't want to be there, you're bored. Can you imagine that, right? And then you went on to describe the scene where you meet your brothers and you have this bamboo pole. And that's how you caught a snake. However, that's where I wanted to add to your vocal variety by, you said you screamed, but I didn't see the vocal variety for where you screamed. You also, that's why I started the evaluation with that excellent scream. I hope you were not surprised too much. You also had that very good body language where you were describing with your hands, maybe indicate what a snake looks like and why a snake is different from an eel. Perhaps this is the most important part where I would like you to think about this, because you spent almost half of your speech describing where you were at the start of the scene, and then only a third of the meeting describing the snake, which I felt is the most important part, because that's where you decided you didn't want to be your father's sister anymore. And it was all because of a snake and how a snake was different from an eel. Sorry. That's where I wanted to tell you to perhaps you could add some more anecdotes, reorganize a little bit and lessen the scene setting part at the beginning, and use the 3-point process of describing the anecdote of the snake. And I'm sure you can find some stories of how you were dealing with your brothers and how you decided to develop your conclusion that you didn't want to have to be with your father's sister anymore. Overall, I think it was very good. It transported us to the past in a scene that we can hardly imagine anymore, and we want to imagine that. And we described us to the scene where the snakes is and how you were able to change your mind and into your conclusion as to how you now didn't want to be your father's sister and you want to be your own person. Mr. Contest Chair.